Hello and welcome to Rada's Test Kitchen. My name is Chef Blake Landau and today we're going to be making risotto. It's a simple risotto. I got a couple options, but basically I'm going to show you the base so you can make whatever type you want. The ingredients we're using are, for the rice, it's an arborio rice, which is a fat grain. I had troubles finding it in our grocery store locally, but I did find it in the health section. I don't know why. It is an Italian rice, but you want to try to find something more on the fatter grain. There's fine, there's medium, but this is more of a fat grain. So we have some butter, a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, which is in our pan. This is a leek, and basically we're going to try to use the lightest color. As you can see, it's kind of only white till about here, which we'll use it up to here, but try to keep it on the white side. Have a parsnip, and then a little shallot. We have some diced ham, some Parmesan cheese, and some beef stock, which we have our beef stock boiling on the range because we want it hot so that way it cooks the rice better. So we're going to start with the leek, and like I said, we're going to try to use the lighter part of the leek. We don't want to use so much of this green. We'll set that off to the side, trim it on each side. We're going to find the diamond part, cut it down the long way. Generally has a little bit of dirt on the inside. I did wash this one a little bit, but we'll go ahead and rinse this up a little bit just to be on the safe side. Okay, now that's rinsed. Got in between each layer. I like to separate more of the hearts from the outside because they change thickness. What I'll do is I want to cut these into small enough bite sizes that are not much more bigger than our ham, actually. It will break down, which makes it a little bit easier to palate. I think sometimes people just cut them on into strips like juliennes, and they, I think, become, I don't know, just a little too stringy for me to have in my rice. So this leek is basically what I would use instead of a white onion. A lot of risottos, they'll call for a white or yellow onion. And even you can use a shallot too, which we're going to do a little bit of both here. Good flavor out of them both. Okay, and for the parsnip, I'm going to peel it. This one has a nice layer of wax on it, so we want to make sure you get through that. And basically this is going to be a little bit of carrot flavor. Cut this into small dice. Alright, first we're going to start out with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in the pan, and then we're going to add about 3 tablespoons or so of butter. Let that melt down. Once there's enough fat in the bottom of the pan, just add the vegetables. We'll go ahead and start sweating those guys out over medium heat. Oops. This is a part where you could add just a pinch of salt just to help with the sweating process, try to extract some of the moisture out of the vegetables. I'm going to watch how much salt I put into this one because I am adding ham and Parmesan cheese, which are both salty. I really like to add oil in with the butter because the oil helps prevent the butter from browning, kind of makes it last a little bit. We're getting a little bit of browning going on here, so we can turn down the heat just a tad. You don't need to brown them. And here I've got my risotto, or my arborio rice, rinsed. In the packaging, when it moves around, the rice creates almost a rice flour, and it would make this cloudy. So I rinsed it off. I'm going to add that in there. Now you want to have enough butter / oil in there that you completely cover the rice grains with some sort of fat. So if you don't have enough butter, you can add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, corn oil, or whatever oil you choose. So now we almost want to pan fry the rice, almost just toast it a little bit. Just make sure the rice isn't sticking to the bottom. If there's enough butter in there, then you won't have that problem. Once the rice grains have slightly toasted, we have our stock here. Now you can use chicken stock, vegetable stock, or beef stock. If you use a beef stock, you're going to get more of a browner color of rice, obviously. If you use a vegetable stock, you'll get more of a lighter white color of rice. Usually, if you're using dark color vegetables, or like a mushroom, or if you're going with the darker color of rice, then beef stock would be pretty smart to go with, although you can create a light colored mushroom risotto. But it's all about personal preference, really. And today I wanted a nice beef stock, so after the rice gets toasted, we'll just go ahead and add the hot stock right to the pan. Now, in traditional risotto, this is where you would add some sort of wine to deglaze, but we're gonna skip that, and we're gonna just do a real simple. So just enough of that stock, and keep it at a nice simmer. And as the stock evaporates, concentrates flavor down, tenderizes the rice grains, you're gonna have to add more stock as you need. You can see the color just turned almost an amber color. There's no doubt about it that the rice swells up quite a bit, so you want to give yourself enough room in your pan for it to double in size at least. It's really important you don't salt it. The Parmesan cheese that you have to add adds enough salt. If you do feel like you need to have salt in there, then you can add it at the end, but I would never add it until the end, with the exception of sweating the vegetables. You can start to see the rice swelling up quite a bit, and once it gets to that point, you're getting close to your last few scoops of stock. You can sample the rice and find out by just biting it to see if it's getting close to done. It should be tender. It still has a little firmness, al dente. We'll let that simmer a little bit more. Because I didn't want to flavor the rice too much with the ham and cook the ham too much, I'm going to add it at the end here. Alright, just a little bit of that. And then go ahead and add some of this Parmesan cheese, finely grated, good quality stuff. Now the cream, or the Parmesan cheese should add creaminess to it, and that's what you're really looking for. A risotto is a nice, smooth creaminess of it. Butter helps with that too. All right, so that was the basic rundown of how to make our ham and leek risotto. You can, like I said, change up the vegetables. You can use mushrooms, you can change up the stock, you can use vegetable or chicken, change the color, the appearance, but the basis is you saute up the vegetables with enough fat so when you add the strained and cleaned rice, that you can coat it with the fat, toast it a little bit, deglaze it, and then keep adding stock. Add your Parmesan cheese at the end, and whatever other added ingredients that you don't want to fully cook, you can add at the very end too, like cherried tomatoes that are cut up. Just add those at the very end, and those will still retain their shape. They won't break down so much. If you wanted to cook it and serve it right away, then you can put it right on the plate. If you wanted to cook it and save it, what we do in the restaurant is we put it on like a cookie sheet tray or a sheet tray, and then put it in the refrigerator and let it cool down until you then can scoop it into a container. And then when you want to reheat it, you just put it in a pan with some hot stock, stir it back up, and then it will warm it back up. So I hope you enjoyed this show. Be sure to leave some comments, leave some feedback, and let us know how you like it. Thank you for watching.